You know, the one thing I've noticed the most while fending off the fanboys of BBC with my factual flamethrower is that not a single fucking one of them knows what a boycott actually is. So, I'm going to go ahead and educate these brainless fools using the words of their own Lord and Savior, BBC himself. Roll that beautiful, delicious footage.
Anyone with a 5th grade education will know what boycotting is. We're in the glossary, and right here it says boycott. I don't know if you can see it or not. To refuse to do business or have contact with a person, group, company, country, or product.
Did you catch that, dipshits? Here it is, one more time, for the cheap seats.
To refuse to do business or have contact with a person, group, company, country, or product.
Notice how nowhere in that definition does it say that boycotting only applies to not buying a company's products. Notice how it also added that detail of having contact with a company. Yeah, so now you're going to tell me that BBC somehow doesn't have any sort of contact with EA by being employed with them? Here's another definition for boycott that says pretty much the same thing as the one BBC gave. Pay special attention, fucktards. Boycott. Verb. Withdraw from commercial or social relations with a country, organization, or person as a punishment or protest. Commercial or social relations. Again, nowhere in that definition does it say to cut off just commercial relations with the company. Noun. A punitive ban that forbids relations with a certain group, cooperation with a policy, or the handling of goods. Guess what, idiots? By working for EA, BBC is doing at least 2 of those 3 things in accordance with the above definition. Yet even with this information that I provided to them, these dumbasses have tried to come up with all kinds of bullshit loopholes and technicalities to desperately try to defend their divine YouTube deity. However, unfortunately for them, said flimsy defenses have been destroyed by me to the point where they tuck their tails and run because they know they've got nothing left to fight with. But at the same time, their own pride and admiration for their holy blackbuster critic won't allow them to admit that they've been exposed, owned, and mindfucked into oblivion, which is truly a sad state of affairs. Like I've said before, I'm a fan of BBC myself. However, I'm not going to defend somebody who was clearly in the wrong just because I'm a fan of them. Doing so would also make me in the wrong, just like it makes all these fuckwits in the wrong as well. Some of the horrible, paper-thin defenses these simians have come up with are truly desperate. Like I've already alluded to, the majority of them think that boycotting only means to not buy a company's products, which the definition of the word has already thoroughly countered. However, one dipshit tried to say that whether it be the noun or verb use of the word somehow makes a percentage of a fraction of a microscopic difference. Yeah, process that for a second. Can't do it, can you? That's because it's too stupid to process. It means the same damn thing regardless of the word syntax you use. Then I had one fool try to say that BBC working for the company doesn't mean he's a representative for them. Yeah. See what I mean about their arguments being desperate? Now, let's go back to that fanboy who tried to say there's a significant and distinct difference between the noun and verb forms of the word boycott. This logic-deprived imbecile is arguably the dumbest and most desperate of all the fanboys I put an intellectual whooping on, because his absurd noun versus verb argument isn't the only terrible argument he presented. Not only that, he also stated he was going to make a video about me before I called his bluff and reminded him that making said video would only help me before he backpedaled, as I showed earlier. Anyways, this idiot tried to use BBC's tech support job position relative to the higher-ups of the company as a point for him working there being equivalent to him not supporting the company and their business practices, despite the fact that I'd already countered this argument in part 3 of my video, The God of Exposure Smites BBC Again. I said that it wouldn't even matter if he was an intern whose duty was sorting and handing out the company mail. He would still be contributing to the productivity and efficiency needed to keep the company running and in business at its current pace and state, thus supporting the company, their business practices, and models. He also said that BBC never said to boycott in his EA pricing games at $80 video itself, but that BBC was calling for a partial boycott, meaning BBC was speaking about the commercial side of boycotting only. This segment of the video is probably what he was talking about.
This is a very serious video here, people. I want all of you, no matter what console, no matter what platform you support, no matter what company's cock you suck, I want you to listen. Because this involves all of us. We have shown the companies like Microsoft that our voice is important. You don't please us, you don't get our money. And we've seen them make changes. So, this is my challenge to every gamer out there on every platform. We need to exercise that exact same power on EA. Now, of course, there's other companies we shouldn't support, like Capcom and such. But EA especially, we do not need to buy their games. EA has done terrible things to gaming this generation. They have cheated gamers in many different ways.
However, there are 3 details that counter this point. Detail number 1 was also in the video.
Guys, this is go time right now. This is go time. We don't need to just be, riding Microsoft. They know. They've learned. We can continue to educate our fellow gamers. But we all have to stand up and tell EA, Capcom, Activision, and any other company that dares cross us gamers and dares try to cheat us. We need to deliver a message to them that we are not going to stand for this shit. That's all I've got to say about EA. Don't support it, guys. Don't fucking do it. Don't do it.
He said don't support the company and this new business practice of them charging $80 per game. As I also said in part 3 of The God of Exposure Smites BBC Again video, buying a company's products and putting money in their pockets is not the only way to support a company and their business practices. Detail number 2 is the fact that even though he didn't say to outright boycott EA in the video itself, he clearly typed it in the video description. So the fact that he didn't say it in the video is rendered worthless. Detail number 3 is the fact that it seems these morons, as well as BBC himself, think they can cherry pick how to boycott a company, and that only attacking the commercial side of it is going to achieve their goals. Like I said in the response to this waste of protoplasm seen here, you don't partially boycott something. You either go hard or go home. By leaving out the social element of the company, not only would you be rendering any partial boycott useless due to still supporting the company's existence with manpower/labor, but you'd also be morally dishonest and deceitful to yourself as well as everybody else you've convinced to join your crusade by conveniently leaving the option of employment with the company you're boycotting open for your own benefit. There's a quote on Snopes.com about protesting that applies to boycotting just as well. Protest schemes that don't cost the participants any inconvenience, hardship, or money remain the most popular despite their ineffectiveness. Like I said, fanboys, keep them coming, and I'll keep slamming them right out of the damn park. While you're at it, go ahead and pass this along to BBC himself so he can see and know that he has some truly dumb motherfuckers in his audience that will attempt to fight for his honor and defend his good name. As for all you fanboys that I've covered here, you can consider thyselves thoroughly exposed, and nothing you say or do will change that fact. I won. You lost. Accept your fate, for your fate is factual, and the facts will always win. The Great Exposer has spoken.